This radio broadcast is growing by leaps and bounds, and we definitely more and more have the attention of the American people to a great extent, and the people of the world. At least we have the attention of people that are trying to find out what's happening. And that is just an incredible responsibility. And I have a wonderful team of reporters, researchers, crew, you the listeners, the supporters, our friends in the media worldwide who love liberty as well. But occasionally I'll listen to a rebroadcast of a show or part of it, and sometimes I'm really spot on. Other times it is a bunch of gibbering. Because it is real and it's teleprompter free and there's no producer telling me what to do, I'm in charge. But as I've said to the globalists many times, they're in charge of the world, they're not in charge of themselves. And it's the same thing. I'm in charge, but I'm not really in charge of myself when it comes to this radio broadcast. And I think back to shows I did 10 years ago. And I've gone back and listened to some of those where I was even more focused and go through more news and get to more calls. And in ways, the broadcast has gotten more informative, and I've gotten more informed when it comes to how the world works, as we all do. A wise man knows how little he knows. The fool thinks he knows everything. But I don't want to say this broadcast is in a rut, because we've added a lot of new things to it. It's gotten better. We've got the reporters, more and more special news pieces. It's just that at the level this broadcast has already made it, I am going to attempt to really shake the show up. And a lot of that means, do I screen the phone calls as well? Because sometimes I open the phones up on a specific topic, best calls in the world. But if I just open it up to general stuff, it's guys calling in who are on their day off, who are already into a half bottle of whiskey, which is fine. It's just that I'm not sitting around, at the local VFW shooting breeze and having a few suds. So there's that issue. There's the issue of the frustration of every day I come in here, and I've scanned over before I got here, and then when I get here, sometimes 200 articles, usually about 100. I've got all these video clips, all these reports, all this incredible information, all these insights to try to transmit to you. But I get so excited and go into a rant mode, and the first hour is generally the best hour for my content, and then we usually have guests on, because I know that I tend to degenerate by the second and third hour. And it's on the days where I don't have guests, where I decide to not have guests, that becomes evident. And I'm probably overanalyzing this. It's just that these are extraordinary times, very extraordinary times. And so I must, absolutely must, get myself to the point of where I'm in control. Because I'll say I'm going to go to your calls, I don't go to them. Or when I do, I let a caller go too long. Or I say I'm going to cover something in the next hour, I start covering it right then, and then never fully cover it. And it's just, I'm going to tell you, you've got this commitment from Alex Jones. Because we're getting on more and more stations, because more and more Infowars.com is a household name, because of the responsibility we've got, because nobody's telling me up my game. I'm saying,
I'm not here to waste your time.
I'm saying,
okay,
a lot of times I'm a travesty.
Become an employee of
People come up and thank me and say how great I am, and it's like punching me in the stomach, because I just want to beat the tyrants, and then I know how horrible I am, and these people are counting on me. It's I don't know how to explain it. One of my good friends had a heart attack a few weeks ago, and he was telling me that he got mad. He felt like he let his family down. 60-something years old, having a heart attack, and somebody that doesn't know what it is to be a man, they don't understand that. A man with children, a man with responsibilities. It's like people are saying, oh, you're so great, and it makes you go, oh man, I got to do even better. You see what I'm saying? It's like, that's why it's painful when you tell me how great I am, because I know the potential is like 500 times better. We'll be right back with incredibly important news. Stay with us.
I have the water in. When I first collected it, with the cap on it, if you shook it off, it looked like Santa Claus should be standing in there. And now, over the course of several months, all of those disgusting fibers and God knows what that's in there has all clumped together. And
well, you should shoot a YouTube video of that and show it, but that's really unscientific, and I'm not poo-pooing the fact that you're doing that. That's a good way to start out observing things, and I appreciate your call. Here's my issue with weather modification. Let's not exaggerate. There are 20,000 different papers. That's a conservative number. You can go look at it on Google. Universities, Department of Energy, other governments, UN treaties on weather modification. They call it all testing, which is ridiculous. And then said, isn't the weather scary? And there's undoubtedly, I've interviewed, let's not exaggerate, 5-6 meteorologists, some of them that actually work at TV stations, saying, clearly you can see the jets come in, the military aircraft, block fronts, make fronts worse. It was in the San Antonio Express News like 15 years ago. There was a big flood, and it killed 34 people, I think, in one night in South Texas. And they said, the Navy says their weather mod's spraying. Was it? I don't know how anyone out there could say that they're bored. A great animating contest between the forces of total despotism and a scientific worldwide technocratic tyranny are attempting to eradicate what we know of as the normal operating system of the human species and evolve us, I put that in quotes, devolve us, into their technotronic man-machine interface age, of which only a select few will enter in the future. And I have some articles on the technological front that integrate in and illustrate are illustrative of what I want to cover on that subject, and I'll do that later in the second hour today. I will get to it. We're also going to look at the destabilized Middle East program. Why are the globalists putting radicals in charge everywhere? How does it tie into the larger geopolitical systems? We're also going to look at John Kerry, the Secretary of State, the globalist, the Skull and Bones member, running around pushing climate change and carbon taxes is the most important thing America faces. His first speech as Secretary of State. The national and local media in Wisconsin has gone into conniption fit overdrive over the sheriff, Clark, in Milwaukee County, and what he said on this show. And before I even saw this article this morning, I intended to come on air and call yet again, but here we are a few months later with an update for a second American revolution, but a peaceful revolution ahead of them starting a violent one. And the sheriff agreed. He said, it'll be up to the American people when this is going to start. The American people will decide when to push back, not me. And they're scared of Clark because I've read his resume. The guy's like a super cop before he became sheriff of that county. And they're afraid of the now 400. It's now over 400. It was 350 just 4 or 5 days ago. Sheriffs saying they're going to fight the New World Order. And look, the intel's out, okay? It's not like it's our opinion we're going into a tyranny, as Sheriff Clark has said. I mean, they're really afraid of focused, handsome, smart, with great record police officers, sheriffs, but anybody else that can be a leader. And they really hate this guy because he's black. And I saw something special in him in the TV interviews I saw. That's why we got him on. They're really scared of people like this. You know why? Because conservatives and libertarians would follow somebody like Clark in a minute. And they want division. They don't want unity. They don't want us having unity under liberty, under private property, under due process, under the family, under law and order enshrined in the Second Amendment that made this country so powerful. Because this country's got a lot of evil in its history. But compared to other nations, which they never teach you about, we have been the best. The best in science, the best in sports, the best in research, the best in development, the best in courage, the best in war. Because we had the best shot at freedom, a head start on everybody else. That's why they don't teach you the founders tried to get rid of slavery, but the British government threatened to reinvade if they did. They don't tell you slavery was going on every other place in the world at that time. They only tell you America. Because they want to demonize the republic and the idea in it, because it's anathema to monopolies. It's anathema to cartels. It's anathema to royalty and insiders. What is royalty? It is generational mafia. It is generational strongmen. It is North Korea. I predict that another generation will be wearing gold crowns. In fact, they already have him wearing royal hats and saying that the sun comes out because of Kim Jong-il's grandfather, or Kim Jong-il's father, and Kim Jong-un, and all the rest of it. That's what we're fighting, is the stagnation of elites that don't want to compete and who want to dominate everybody. Now, here's the deal. I meant to do this the last few months, and so many times I I don't get into the really weighty issues because I think at a subconscious level I feel like, as I know many of you feel, that I'm not worthy to be trying to launch something this big. Well, none of us are worthy. All of us have fallen short. But it doesn't matter. The fact is we have a duty. And so I have procrastinated and written up notes many times. I don't know, 3 months ago I called for the Second American Revolution, a peaceful restoration plan. I had many constitutional top lawyers on. They confirmed my analysis and said it's actually found in the Declaration of Independence, Constitution, Bill of Rights, Federalist Papers, Anti-Federalist Papers, and gave different pathways for the basic plan I developed that was just based on a re-upload of the Bill of Rights and Constitution via the Declaration of Independence. So it's not really my plan. I simply stated that a revolution, a restoration of the Republic, when you hear about it is our right, our duty to throw off oppressive governments and to make new ones for the protection of the people's rights and liberties, to paraphrase the Declaration of Independence, that is the total plan there, stating the inherent right is in all of us. We, the people, are the boss. We are the sovereigns. And so the media has always sold a Declaration of Independence as a bad thing because it's saying the government can be abolished. And then they sold that like it will abolish the Republic. It will abolish America. It will abolish D.C., the federal government. D.C. and the federal government has been overrun and captured, and the Republic has been abolished, and even the American Empire is to be phased out and abolished and transferred into NATO and the Communist Chinese as the two main seats of power, with the United States as a Hessian mercenary military supply system. And even that's only a 10-year program, because after that, it goes total robot. I mean, this is the real world we're talking about. This is humans being phased out. This is humans not needed. And you can point at the slob-like public, point ourselves. I'll point at myself. A shadow compared to my forebears, undoubtedly. Because adversity makes men, prosperity makes monsters. But as bent as I am, I'm not half as bent as the general public, and I don't take pleasure out of their societal deformities. I feel great pain in it because my children and my progeny and my bloodlines flow out into the future. And I stand between the past and the future, learning from both, wishing to go forward with good cheer and good heart and goodwill. Goodwill. I have goodwill. I want to build up. I don't want to be cynical. I don't want to cheat people and get ahead and laugh at them. I want to build them up. But the dangerous horde screaming for blood is being taught by the technocrats that they will tear apart those of us that produce and feed on us in a predatory implosion syndrome that I liken to a cannibalistic, neo-feudalistic, controlled road warrior collapse, which they call Agenda 21 in the post-industrial system. I mean, this is an epic time to be alive, an epic plan we face. Epic, eugenicist-based, technocrat globalists who you gotta hand it to them have had a long-term nightmare plan and have really carried a lot of it out. They're about 10 years behind. I mean, it's epic. And a lot of technocrats will say, well, Alex, they're in control, we're in control, speaking of themselves, we're going to win. And you should just try to join us. Isn't the fact that we're in control the evidence that we should be in charge? And I sat there and watched a lot of my family die of cancer. And I've watched friends die of cancer. I've watched people take their last breaths. You know, it was painful. It was important moments to experience that death, not to hide away from it, to see it, to know how transient we are. Out, out, brief candle, to quote Shakespeare. And I have sat there and watched people battle cancer. And I've said this before, I'll say it again. If cancer had a consciousness, it would think it was winning. No, you are not winning, and you do not have a right to be doing what you're doing. Because your eugenics would be bad enough if you were killing the infirm and the stupid. But you are targeting the beautiful and the intelligent and the enlightened because you're threatened by it. And that is just beyond evil. You people are cancer. want to just take calls. I'm not going to go to news the next 40 minutes. I'm going to take your calls, first-time callers, on how do you think we fix America and the world? What do you think the big false flag is going to be? What do you think of millions stocks plunge as Fed members admit endless bond buying will not fix the economy? That's just some of the news we're going to focus on in that area. But as I said, how do we defeat the globalists? We're going to be discussing that when I start the next hour and then go back into your calls. And no one ever wants to talk about that or the aerosol spraying program or the Department of Energy programs or all the admissions. It's like it's all admitted that the government has declassified thousands of lethal chemical, biological, radiological releases on the public. And then every time I get calls or somebody on the street, they're like, did you see the chemtrails? Will you talk more about them? Hey, I think they're doing this. What do you think they're doing? I know exactly what they're doing. I have the patents where they add the barium salts, aluminum dioxide to the three major jet fuel manufacturers, part of a national security compartmentalization. It's then sprayed out even from those jets. They have specialized jets. It's all a public program. It's like, can we prove there's a new world order? It's all hiding in plain view. See, they know the public's so ignorant. They're like, I heard there's a UN. Never saw it, but heard it's there. I heard there's FEMA camps. I heard the military's trying to take our guns. I mean, you'll see them trying to take your guns. You can read it in the newspaper if you want. I heard there's a plan to forcibly inoculate us. It's the Model States Health Emergency Powers Act. Yes, I just gave you the name of it. I heard there's a plan to have the Army have forced labor. Civilian inmate labor camp program. I mean, you type that into army.mil, you're going to get all the maps, the documents, the names, everything. See, it's all going on. Reality's going on, and then you've got what the TV heads are getting.